Hello my beautiful friends. Welcome to Blow Up, where Reddit secrets detonate into epic drama. Today we've got 6 insane family secrets, think cruel pranks, stepkid chaos and inheritance wars. Ready to dive in? Smash that like button, subscribe and let's set this off. My idiot cousin's April's Fool pranked my wife about me cheating on her, and they went so hard on my wife that even if I try to defend them I am at risk of losing my wife. I'm really tired of my wife periodically checking my phone, and I think that my wife is suspicious of me, but at the same time I think I'm wrong for not kicking my cousins out and listening to my wife. The reason why I was so tolerant and forgiving because I love my cousins, and deep down I thought they were just April's fooling my wife, and I thought my wife would get over it. I asked my wife what does she want me to do. She said she already told me. I asked her to make it clear to me once again without getting angry, and I will do whatever she wants. My wife says that she's deeply hurt by what my cousins said and she doesn't want them anywhere near us anymore, and I should stay away from them as far as I can from my cousins. I told her that I'm cutting my cousins off and I won't talk to them at all no matter what unless she forgives them. She cried and screamed at me, and she once again said that she didn't marry me only to be told that her husband is in bed with another woman. I told her that I love her and I didn't want to hurt her. I comforted her as best as I could and told her that she'll never see me with or anywhere near my cousins ever again unless she approves of it. I think I managed to calm my wife down, and if I have to cut my cousins off to keep my life partner in my life, then I'll do what's necessary. I think I should have done that long ago, and yes, I agree I should have listened to her instead of convincing her. My wife is religious and extremely dedicated to me. I was being an ass and I will change that no matter what. Cousins pulled an April Fool's prank so bad it's basically a divorce starter. I bet they thought, let's spice up their marriage. Now OP's picking wife over family faster than you can say, bad joke. Someone get these pranksters a timeout. That prank was a train wreck. If you were OP, how would you handle cousins tanking your marriage with a fake cheating gag? Would you cut them off like he did or try to mend fences? Is the wife's hurt fair or should she chill? Drop your thoughts below. And if you've survived a family prank gone wrong, spill it. I'm all ears for more blow up chaos. That prank flipped OP's world upside down. Talk about a family foul. Blow up crew, you're rocking it with us. Our next story from our /amid asshole is about a stepmom drawing a line with wild teens. If you're loving these secrets, smash that like button and let's keep the drama flowing. My husband has 2 kids from his previous marriage. Both boys, 12 and 14. They are sweet kids, but they're teenage boys. They're wild, they tend to get into fights, they're messy, and listening is not their best life skill at this stage of brain development. I do not have biological kids of my own. I met these kids when we started dating about 4 years ago, and we've all lived together for about 2.5 years. Long story, but we moved last summer about 60 miles from our old home. The move was because the boys' bio mom got remarried to a guy who lived in a different part of the state. To avoid the kids bearing the brunt of the commute, we agreed to move. My husband still commutes to work and I work from home full-time now. We have 50-50 custody of his kids. During the school year we never have the kids on Monday or Tuesday nights. My husband enjoys playing in low-stakes, bar poker games, so he generally does that on Mondays and Tuesdays. It's a very long drive to the venue where he plays, so he stays with friends near our old house on those nights and doesn't come home. Not my favorite arrangement, but I go out of my way to ensure he feels like he has autonomy to enjoy his hobbies, something he definitely didn't have in marriage number 1. The issue has come up with regards to our summer custody schedule, which switches to 1 week on, 1 week off from the normal school year schedule. It recently came out in conversation that he expected to still play in his poker game on Tuesday nights during the summer and that he was fully planning on staying with friends and not coming home those nights. It has always been our understanding and agreement that he would be home any night we have the boys here. When I brought this up, he told me he didn't think it was a big deal to not be home 1 night a week and to expect me to handle everything on those nights. I'm super uncomfortable being here with them alone. They make me anxious, I hate when they fight, and I don't think it's my place as a step-parent to discipline them. If they were kids who just read books and sat in silence all night, I might feel differently, but there's an always greater than 0% chance that someone is literally throwing punches, and I have no interest in being solely in charge of that situation. I already am the default parent for laundry, school pickup, scheduling, meals, and the primary caretaker anytime during school breaks, since I work from home. I have clearly communicated to my husband how I feel about being here alone with them, so he is aware. Beyond how it impacts me, I don't think it's a great example for the kids either. It's not like my husband is on work trips, it's like, hey dad would rather play poker than be here with you. I just feel like part of being a parent is you have to plan your life around kid stuff. My husband already has it easier than most because of the joint custody and the fact that I am happy to sacrifice some of the few days we would have alone for the two of us so that he can pursue this hobby. My husband is making me feel like I am, but I just feel like this is me making a reasonable ask and trying to set a very legitimate boundary. Hubby's out here bluffing his way through parenting with poker nights. I bet. He thinks, stepkids? What stepkids? While OP's dodging teen fists like a ref. Someone tell this guy folding on family night isn't a winning hand. That stepmom stress maxed out. If you were OP, how would you handle a husband? Bailing for poker during kid weeks? Would you demand he stay like she did or roll with it? Is he dodging dad duty or is she overreacting? Tell me below. And if you've navigated stepkid chaos, share your story. I'm ready for more blow-up-worthy madness. Those teens turned OP's house into a wrestling ring. Poor stepmom. Blow up squad, you're killing it. Our next story from our /AITAH is about a girlfriend who played armchair shrink and got the boot. If you're hooked, hit that like button and let's dive deeper into Reddit's wild side. I am 36, have been dating Mandy, F 34, for 6 months. My place is closer to her work, so she sleeps over a few nights a week and has a key. She also finishes work earlier than I do, so she usually gets to my place before me. I have anxiety and see a therapist once a month. I manage it by maintaining routines and schedules. For example, when I get home, I feed my cat first, then wash my hands, start cooking, and then clean up. I don't expect her to do anything around my house, but I do expect her to at least put her dirty dishes in the dishwasher. When I explained this to her, she asked, "Are you autistic?" I said I didn't think so, and added that this is just basic courtesy. Even if I was autistic, I'd still expect the same. But she kept doing it. I came home again to dirty dishes all over. She uses bowls for snacks and cups for drinks. When I asked her why she didn't put them in the dishwasher, she replied, "There's that tism again. You really need to get tested." Last night when I got home, she asked me to grab her a can of Coke. I said I'd do it after I fed my cat. She yelled, "You autistic fuck. You can't even break your routine for a can of Coke. How long are you gonna be in denial? Just get tested." I told her to leave. Whether I'm autistic or not is none of her business. She got mad and left. Later, she sent me a bunch of TikToks about autism, saying she was just trying to help. Was I the asshole? I don't like my house being dirty. Mandy's out here diagnosing OP like she's Dr. TikTok. I bet she's got a stethoscope and a how to spot autism manual. OP's cat's like, "Feed me not." Her ego. Someone get this girl a dishwasher tutorial instead. That's a diagnosis disaster. If you were OP, how would you handle a partner? Armchair diagnosing you? Would you kick her out like he did or laugh it off? Is Mandy helping or just rude? Drop your take below. And if you've had someone play shrink with you, spill it. I'm craving more blow-up-worthy drama. Mandy's exit was faster than her TikTok scroll. Talk about a clean break. Blow up crew, your champs. Our next story from our /AITAH is a funeral feud that hits hard. If you're loving these secrets, hit subscribe and let's keep the Reddit fireworks popping. I, 18F, lost my dad 3 weeks ago. He was my best friend, my safe place, and honestly the only parent who really got me. My mom and I are strained, and she divorced him when I was 10. He remarried when I was 13, and his wife, Stacy, 40SF, came with her own son Adam, 9M now. To be real, I never bonded with them. Stacy always treated me like a guest in my own dad's house, and Adam was a spoiled little tornado. My dad tried to make it work, but I mostly avoided going over once I hit 16. We were closer one-on-one anyway. Fast forward to the funeral. I was wrecked. I'd spent the night before writing a eulogy and crying my eyes out. I was trying to hold it together in black heels and waterproof mascara. Then Stacy pulls me aside literally 15 minutes before the service starts and says, "Hey, could you just keep an eye on Adam? He's having a hard time and I want to be able to focus on greeting people." I thought she was joking. But no. She wanted me, the daughter of the dead man, to babysit her son so she could socialize like it was some brunch event. I said no. Politely at first. Then more firmly when she pushed. She got huffy and whispered, "You know, you're not the only one who lost someone." I snapped. I said, "You lost a husband of 5 years. I lost the man who raised me my entire life. You do the math." She gasped like I slapped her and stormed off. Later at the reception, she told my mom and other relatives what I said, and now half the family is calling me selfish and immature. My aunt even said I traumatized Adam, because apparently he overheard us and cried that I feel bad for the kid. I do. but I was grieving too. I didn't think it was my job to parent her child when I was barely keeping it together myself. Stacy's out here turning a funeral into a babysitting gig? Bold move. I bet she thought, grieving daughter? Perfect nanny. Opie's mascara's holding stronger. Then her patience. Someone get Stacy a worst timing award. Blow up fam, that's a funeral foul. If you were OP, how would you handle being asked to babysit at your dad's service? Would you snap like she did or play nice? Is Stacy clueless or was OP too harsh? Tell me below. And if you've had family pull a stunt at a funeral, share it. I'm all about that blow-up drama. Stacy's request was a gut punch. OP held her ground like a champ. Blow-up squad, you're legends. Our next story from our /AITAH is an inheritance battle with a monster twist. If you're hooked, hit that like button and let's dive into more family chaos. My grandma died in 2024. I, 23M, had lived with her since I was 17 and had taken over a lot of bills and stuff in the last year before grandma died, and it was sudden. I was also no contact with my dad and stepfamily. Grandma was no contact with them too. For background on why and how we got here. My mom left when I was only a few months old. She changed her mind about having me and left me with my grandparents, meaning my dad's parents. My dad was in the military at the time and he retired after that deployment and took me home with him. Then my grandpa died a year later. So I don't remember him. My grandma continued helping out my dad. When I was 5, my dad told me he'd met someone and she had kids a little bit older than me and they wanted us to be a family. He got me really excited to have a mom and siblings. I don't even remember all the lead-up stuff, but the first time I was meeting them I remember my dad saying our family was growing that day. And the first time we met went okay. But it was downhill after that. I don't even remember all the lead-up stuff, but the first time I was meeting them I remember my dad saying our family was growing that day. And the first time we met went okay. But it was downhill after that. It was very low-key with hardly anyone there. But I remember my 2 oldest step-siblings pushed me to the floor because the 5 of us were supposed to be getting ready in the same room and waiting for the parents. But my step-siblings didn't want me with them. What happened at the wedding wasn't an isolated incident and they bullied and abused me a lot. My dad and stepmom did nothing to stop it. They tell me it was hard for my step-siblings and they had lost their dad and sometimes it made them a little angry, but they would never hurt me intentionally. Except they did. Both physically and emotionally. My dad and stepmom started getting annoyed with me because I'd go crying to them about it. My grandma stepped in multiple times and tried to talk sense into my parents and especially to dad. He told her he had met the love of his life and wouldn't end the marriage for anyone. She pointed out that I needed him and had no one else. He said that was bullshit and I had a mom now. Grandma said I would never an equal to or before the older kids who were my stepmom's bio kids. Dad said that's just how it works. Grandma said not with him apparently, which dad resented. Grandma tried to take me more to make up for it, but my dad and stepmom protested and refused to allow it because it meant excluding my step-siblings. Meanwhile, my step-siblings would tell me if I couldn't live with grandma it was sad my mom didn't get rid of me before she left dad. My grandma actually called CPS on my stepfamily and that didn't actually result in being no contact. Which still surprises me. Nothing was done by CPS despite them saying my dad and stepmom needed parenting classes and warning if I kept getting hurt I'd be removed. They made the threat but did not follow through. Then came a day where we were all at grandma's house. I was 11 at the time and my step-siblings would have been 13, 14, 16 and 17 and one of them shoved me really hard because I wanted to sit in the only free chair and it was next to them. Grandma went off on them which set my stepmom off. Then dad defended his wife and stepkids. And it all came to a stop because grandma called my step-siblings little monsters who shouldn't be allowed around other kids because they liked beating them up. Grandma refused to apologize and as my dad and stepmom were forcing us all to leave, which mean forcing me to leave, Grandma said they were all monsters and she told dad he was not coming back from that moment. My dad and stepmom stopped me from seeing grandma for years. I only got back in touch with her a week before I moved out. They called the police and tried to drag me back and accused my grandma of abusing my step-siblings, but I got to stay and no charges came from any of the accusations. Back to today. When grandma died she had a strong will in place. She left my dad $100. That was the minimum she could leave him so he couldn't sue for the rest, which she gave to me. I got grandma's house, which was my dad's childhood family home. I got the rest of her money, her and grandpa's sentimental possessions, and she had some investments too. My dad tried to go after it saying as her only child he should get everything, but her will stopped it. She left nothing to his wife or her kids. So then they started contacting me, at first through lawyers and then on socials, saying I should be dividing it evenly and giving dad what he deserves. then shaming me for accepting it when she excluded my siblings. My dad even tried coming to the house to talk, and when he started to shame me for accepting it when she disrespected our family, I told him she was right and they were all monsters and that they didn't deserve anything. I only made him more mad. And saying that is what I'm mostly questioning because I feel like I made my life harder. Grandma's out here dropping $100 on dad like it's a consolation prize. Savage? I bet she wrote that will with a smirk, calling them monsters from beyond. Opie's living rent-free in dad's head and house. Someone get this family a worst reunion trophy. That's an inheritance bomb. If you were OP, how would you handle dad and stepfam begging for grandma's loot? Would you keep it all and call them monsters like he did, or share? Is dad greedy or was OP too harsh? Tell me below. And if you've had an inheritance feud, spill it. I'm dying for more blow-up-worthy tea. Grandma's will was a mic drop. Dad's still reeling. Blow-up crew, you're the best. Our final story from our /asshole is about a stepmom who won't be grandma. If you're loving these secrets, hit subscribe and let's wrap this up with a fiery finish. My dad, 62, is married to Noelle, 60. They met when I, 24F, was 16 and got married when I was 21. Noelle and I don't get along and we won't ever get along. The reason we don't get along is she's so aggressive for no reason. Noelle fought with my grandparents the first time she joined in on a family vacation, which was a year after her and dad started dating. The fight was over where we were going to eat. Noelle didn't want to eat at the place that came with the vacation package my grandparents paid for. Then she got angry when most of us wanted to eat there and wouldn't go where she wanted, and she took it out on my grandparents. Nobody tried to stop her and dad from eating elsewhere, but most of us didn't want to spend a fortune going to a place outside the package we got. She didn't want to do any of the paid-for tours and got mad that my grandparents didn't cancel them all. When Noelle first moved in with dad, she started a weird fight with our neighbor over the neighbor's dog watching her. The neighbor said the dog was relaxing, but Noelle didn't buy it, and she was so aggressive even when she asked the neighbor to make the dog stop looking that first time. Noelle still calls that neighbor a bitch and a cunt years later. We fought over my graduation. I didn't want her there, but dad did. I gave in for him. She demanded me to invite her whole family and didn't even ask. She demanded right away. When I said no, she stayed mad about it for weeks and argued with a bunch of people that whole time. Even at work she got a warning for the attitude she gave. She picked a fight with my aunt at dad's 60th birthday dinner. My aunt bought dad an extra dessert and it offended Noelle. She accused my aunt of trying to steal the limelight and asked her why she was so entitled, which I still don't get how buying your brother a dessert on his birthday makes you entitled, but anyway. My aunt ignored her. But the aggression off Noelle was through the roof. My dad knows I don't like Noelle. He doesn't push. We meet up for lunch, dinner, etc. He'll visit me and I visit him when Noelle's at work or visiting with someone. He knows that when I get married someday, Noelle won't be anything more than his +1 and he should not expect her to be thanked for anything. He also knows there is no way I'll encourage my future kids to call her grandma. He's accepted it. I've accepted I don't have as close of a relationship with dad as before because he's married to Noelle and I want as little contact and exposure to her aggressive nature as possible. We were all together for my uncle's birthday on Saturday and Noelle started fighting with him. She didn't like something he said about her favorite restaurant and just got so aggressive over it. My uncle rolled his eyes at her and ignored her, but she wouldn't let it fucking go. Then he suggested she might need to be medicated because she gets aggressive a lot, and he compared her to an angry yapping dog. I laughed because I couldn't have said it better myself. She told me that I should be defending her, not laughing. She asked what I'd tell my future kids one day when they wondered why I let people speak to grandma that way. That's when I told her she won't be grandma to any future kids of mine. I told her she'll be grandpa's wife they never see. She blew a fuse and was removed. My dad stayed and apologized for her blowing up at the party. She's decided we need to talk about what I said, but I ignore her. Every time she leaves a voice message or sends a text, she tells me I don't have the right to deny her and my future kids a relationship and saying I'll be an awful mother. Noelle's out here barking like a rabid chihuahua over everything. I bet she'd fight a spoon for looking at her wrong. Opie's like, Grandma? Nah, you're just dad's +1. Someone get this lady a chill pill and a muzzle. That's a stepmom meltdown. If you were OP, how would you handle Noelle's aggression claiming grandma rights? Would you shut her down like she did, or play nice? Is Noelle delusional or was OP too brutal? Drop your thoughts below. And if you've had a step-parent overstep, share it. I'm hungry for more blow-up-worthy stories. Those secrets were pure fire. Which one blew your mind? Tell me below. I'm reading every comment. Smash that like button and subscribe for more Reddit chaos. Thanks for riding with me. Next time we've got wilder tales. You won't want to miss it. Catch you then.